It's been all about the shad. Guys have been getting a lot of shad. From just size right up to 5-6 kilos. It's been a good shad run so far this year.
With the sardines just being a no-show at this stage, Vinesh, it's been shad, Garrick and cob on the menu. So let's see what happens this weekend.
There you go, buddy. Hit now!
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Green.
Hey, we have won it. Oh, man, what a week. KZN. Whoa, guys, thank you so much for everyone who was rooting for us. Bookmark Awards audio content and podcast goes to Angler News SA. And thanks to East Coast Radio, guys. I just want to start off the show with my huge thanks because I'm ever so grateful for how far we have come with the show. And huge shout out to East Coast Radio, Diane, Veer, the team behind them. I went into them with this idea that we want to make fishing news massive, and they've backed it the entire way. So massive shout out to East Coast Radio. I would also like to thank our reporters, guys. They are the backbone of the show. Without them, we could not have this. They have got their ears on the ground. They're bringing us the latest news, the latest content. So huge shout out to our reporters. As of course, family and friends, they are there for those late nights, the early mornings. Absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much. But most of all, this award goes to you, the listeners, the guys that decided to press play on the show, the ones that are there listening to us and trusting us on this content to get you into those feeding zones. So, speaking of which, with the feeding zones, all right, what is happening in KZN? Well, guys, it is massive Garrick, massive shad, and massive cob, and that massive fish is coming out from the mid-south coast. Now, don't get me wrong, the rest of the coastline has fish. The rest of the coastline has some shad, some nice shad at that. But you want that Garrick, cob, and shad action. You want to get into what was there at the tail end of this winter. This is it. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into this week's strike zones. Kicking it off in my hometown with Mike V and Brad Krabler. But before them, guys, huge, massive shout out to our sponsors, the ones that are also truly entitled to this award because they have supported us from the start of the show. They have backed us from episode 1. It is the one and only, the legendary, the Kingfisher.
Get ready for the biggest shad fishing event of 2026. Join the Photon and Kingfisher shad fishing competition running from 14 to 31st August. With an incredible 85,000 Rand prize pool, you could win 60,000 Rand for first place, 15,000 for second, and 10,000 Rand for third. Entry is only 250 Rand, and entries are open now. Don't let someone else reel in your fortune. Rig up, bring your A game, and make every cast count. Visit kingfisher.co.za, photonsa.co.za, or any of our 8 Kingfisher branches to get your tickets today. The 2026 Photon and Kingfisher shad fishing competition. Gear up, cast up, win big.
Other guys have been all about the shad. Guys have been getting a lot of shad. From just size right up to 5-6 kilos. It's been a good shad run so far this year. In the mix there, guys are using the shad for live bait, catching some lovely Garrick. There's 1 or 2 lovely cob being caught. On your inedible side, there's been a couple diamonds, a couple lovely blackfin also getting caught on the live baits. Otherwise, on the points and the deep water, a few blue rays here and there as well in the mix. Some small browns have made a show. So yeah, when the sea's been nice and the conditions have been good, there's been a lot of fish to be caught off the beaches. On the paddle ski and ski boat side, good couple of snooks still around, 1 or 2 Coutas still popping up here and there. Some nice snook up to about 5-6 kilos. So the guys are having fun with those. Oaks going deeper, having getting some lovely Geelbek and doggers, the rock cod slingers, all those things on the bottom, the normal stuff. 1 or 2 ambers should be showing up just now. Maybe a couple Cape Yellowtail as well. Give the guys some fun on the bottom. Durban Bay, lots of grunt. Lots and lots of grunt in the bay. They are definitely running now. Up to some good sizes, 4-5 kilo size. 1 or 2 kingies have started showing up as well on the bait. Not so much on the ultralight spinning, but definitely on bait. There's been a couple. If it carries on like this, we might actually have a very good bay grunter run. Guys, thank you very much. This is Mike V for NSA News.
Good day, guys. Brad here from Linsky Fishing Charters. The fishing reports of the Durban area over the last week. Once again, the Snoek and Garrick have been actually quite ballistic off the Mgeni River, Durban side, off all the way to Mhlonga, basically. On the bottom fishing side, yes, some really good bottom fishing coming out, some really nice half cob. And out in the deeper area, the Geelbek seem to have been starting to show their faces in more abundance over the last couple of days. There have been one or two tunas out in the real deep where the water's slightly warmer. But otherwise, general fishing has been good, staying closer in the shallows. Guys, this is Brad for Angling News South Africa. Tight lines, and speak to you guys all next week.
What a truly outstanding report, guys. Thank you, Mike and Brad. Yes, absolutely loving that amount of shad action, especially seeing that we have a competition going on and a certain fish could be worth 60,000 Rand. All right, but apart from that, absolutely ballistic with the grunter out there. I mean, that is amazing. Yes, I really believe Mike in what he's saying about there will be more grunter action coming out. But you know what? We can't miss a fish right now. Durban is looking absolutely phenomenal. Hey, and that offshore side with that bottom fishing, nothing wrong with that. All right, so now let's head on out of Durban and moving up the north coast where we are with Michaela Daniels, and she's telling us exactly what's happening on every fishing spot on the north coast.
What's up, everyone? This is Michaela from Durban reporting for Angling News SA. It's been another awesome week of fishing along our coastline and kicking things off for a Blue Lagoon, where there's still shad coming out as well as a few half-carbon grunter, while for Beachwood, the shad is still around in the early mornings and late afternoon, but there's still plenty of inedibles on the bites. Moving up to Virginia, the shad have quietened down, but there are still a few coming out as well as a few stumpies. For the Mplanga anglers, there's also shad coming out as well as a couple of stumpies, while for the offshore side of things, Durban is still producing quite a few Snoek and Couta, while there are also 1-2 Garrick coming out off the shallower bait marks. For the bottom side of things, there's still Darga and Geelbek coming out, as well as a couple of yellowtail, as well as the usual reds and rock odds. For Couta, however, there's still Couta and Snoek coming out, while the deep is still producing a few yellowfin tuna. And for the bottoms, the guys are getting into some lovely Darga, rock odd, Geelbek, and the odd amberjack. Moving right up the coast to Belito, there's still shad and men edibles on the bite, while for St. Lucia, the shad are also still around, as well as a few GTs, while for the offshore side, Belito is still producing Snoek, Couta, and GTs. While St. Lucia saw some lovely sized yellowfin tuna, wahoo, and Couta carved out over the past week. That's going to be it for me for this week, guys. Tight lines, and have a great one.
Oh, what a fantastic report, Michaela. Oh, lots of shad action. Looks like the shad is boiling all over the coastline, but you're looking for that big ones. I'm going to tell you exactly where they are in a moment. In fact, I'm not going to do it for you. Our reporters in the mid-south coast is going to do that. But before we head on down to the south or even the Midlands, let's find out exactly what's going on from Tugela Mouth.
A big hello from the Botter Ski Boat Club at Tugela Mouth. This week's surf fishing report tells a story of two halves, the first being a few days of very cold temperatures, thick cloud, rain and that wind that picks up the sand and blasts your legs. Needless to say, surf fishing was challenging. Things picked up following this weather system passing through. In particular, the gullies straight in front of Car Park 2, the lifeguards, through to the lighthouse rocks, produce some salmon at dawn and at dusk. And from Car Park 1, the resort car park, 200 metres to the left, the close-in drop and the first gullies gave up some 2 to 4 kg cob and the occasional shad. Having walked the beach from Mama's Rock to the mouth itself, a reminder to all anglers to take their rubbish home. A group of us collected over 20 refuse sacks of empty bait boxes, KFC buckets, drinks bottles and cans, discarded fishing tackle, as well as other refuge. Anyhow, guys, tight lines.
Thank you, Richard. Always great to hear from you. Thank you for the insights as to where that cob and shad are. All right, so once again, shad still all over the place. Cob out there, nothing wrong with that, but too soon for Cobtober, but we'll take it nevertheless. Now, before we head on down to the mid-south, let's find out what's happening from our man Jan with the Midlands report. Thank you, Richard. Always great to hear from you. Thank you for the insights as to where that cob and shad are. All right, so once again, shad still all over the place. Cob out there, nothing wrong with that, but too soon for Cobtober, but we'll take it nevertheless. Now, before we head on down to the mid-south, let's find out what's happening from our man Jan with the Midlands report.
Hey there, guys. After the recent Whopper of a snow event, it seems that we are back on track for the start of spring, officially in just a little over a week's time. There was some amazement at the timing of the snow, but hey, it was pretty much to be expected, as my social media memories showed. The extended forecast, however, is looking great going forward well into next week. Classic late winter KZN weather with daytime temperatures back up into the late 20s and even into the early 30s. There was some good widespread rainfall over the Midlands, with some daily reports reaching up into the 40 millimeters plus. This late winter, early spring rain is most welcome, as there are a number of international reports making mention of a super El Nino event, peaking in the latter part of this year and into early 2027, that is expected to push global temperatures significantly higher. Gird your loins, as the saying goes, and take any and every fishing opportunity that arises between now and then. With the trout river season just around the corner, yes, some of us are straining our necks for the view. The rains and snow melt have got the rivers flowing well, albeit a tad chilly, with some reports noting river water temperatures down into the single figures. This initial flush will clean up the systems nicely from the winter's dust, and the increasing flow should get the fish moving. So here's to an exciting start of the season. Apart from a few excellent fish from the waters of the Natal Fly Fishers Club, the winter stillwater season has been somewhat lackluster this year. With a warmer than usual winter, that is until the snows arrived, perhaps the fish were betwixt and between, not quite finding their groove. With last week's weather having a wider impact on the stillwaters, there were still only a handful of returns from the NFFC anglers for the past week. Dirty water as a result from rainfall, or perhaps a dam inversion from the sudden chill, was mentioned. The cleaner waters produced some dry fly action from a natural colored DDD, and along with the classic hopper dropper, nymph, a dry dropper, fish were recorded all in the 9 to 13 inch, that is 23 to 33 centimeter bracket. With the spawn imminent, bass anglers are on the starting blocks as they wait for the water to warm up and the bigger fish to start feeding. The spell of cold weather might have put a damp on proceedings, but for a few anglers testing their mettle, there have been a good few fish coming to the net from both Midmar and Albert Falls dams, and as well as further afield. And there are also some good numbers of carp coming out from both Midmar and Albert Falls. Guys, do stop in the Kingfisher Maritzburg for the best in tackle advice. And this is Jan Korrelbal reporting for Kingfisher Maritzburg and for Angler News South Africa.
Yeah, and your beauty, absolutely legendary report with those insights as always. Gosh, what would we do without you, without that Midlands report? Guys, if you want more freshwater news, please let us know. Drop it in the comments. We are more than happy to bring you a lot more content on that freshwater side. We know not everyone is into the saltwater fishing. You want some bass news, you want some carp news, you want to know what's going to be going on with that spawning season. Well, let us know if we should dive deeper into that. All right, so that's our Durban, North Coast and Midlands report. Let's find out exactly what's happening from the Middle South Coast with Benny Pillay and Max Stamatis.
How's it, guys? After that big cold front pushed through, the sea has started to settle and things are slowly getting back to normal. And with that, the Garrick have arrived in style, with some beautiful fish up to an incredible 15 kg mark being landed. But the question on every angler's lips, we are the big shad. From Scottsboro to McNichol, some really good sized shad have been showing, and I got a feeling that the Kingfisher and 4-ton shad competition winners could come straight from the Mid-South Coast. Meanwhile, the Natal Stump Nose are still putting on an absolute show across the south, with fish pushing the 5 kg mark. And the talk of the town this week, monster bill. Some specimens are being landed up to the massive 2 kg mark, some proper blacktails. On the non-edible side of things have slowed down. A few Blu-rays around the 16 to 18 kg range have been landed along with the very odd spinner shark. But the action has definitely quietened down. Looking ahead to weekend, we have got big wins on the card, but there are a few window periods in between. And remember, sometimes all it takes is a few hours in the right conditions to put something special on the sand. So get your bait ready, watch those conditions, make those windows count. South Coast is alive, the big fish are around, and the next cast could be the one. This is Ben reporting for Angling News.
How's it, everybody? Max here with your Mid-South Coast fishing report for Angling News South Africa. It's been a bit of a tough week down on the South Coast, with the weather keeping us up on our toes and the water conditions changing almost constantly. There's been some smaller catches of bottom fish coming out right along the coast, with the slightly bigger fish seem to be holding further south. Bait fish have pretty much disappeared from the inshore areas, but there's still enough mackerel on the deeper marks to be able to get some bait for the day. Unfortunately, there's still no real sign of gamefish, but this time of year is definitely a prime time to target those bigger bottom fish. And the ways things have been shaping up, we're all keeping our fingers crossed that the Geelbek decide to make an appearance sooner rather than later in our area. Looking towards the weekend, the weather's looking a little bit borderline, with a possible window opening up on Sunday morning after the west. So keep an eye on those conditions and see if you get a gap, hopefully a few boats can get on the water to make the most of it. If Mother Nature does decide to not give us a gap, maybe it's a little bit of time to give a bit of TLC to the tackle, rods, reels, sharpen the hook, get the traces tied and get ready. Proper preparation is always key, and especially this time of year when you've got a chance to break a PB. That's all from me for this week. Until next time, tight lines, everybody.
Ah, yes, boys, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Big Shad, man. Oh, big Garrick. But you know what? That Shad's got some cash on it. I think that's exactly where I'm going to be heading this week. All right, let me know if you are heading down there and what spot you are heading to. Is it going to be Toti, or Amkamas, or Scottborough, or Parkreni? Oh, there's some big fish out there. And as for Max's report, yes, Max, we will be crossing fingers. We know there's some good fish around that area. Let's just hope the weather gods play their part. All right, guys, let's take it home where there's always actions. Continuing on their purple patch, we are with Adam Lyon.
Hey, Vinesh, I hope you're doing well, my friend, and I hope everyone has had an awesome week so far. I just want to start off by saying congratulations on that Bookmark Award. Absolutely epic achievement, my friend, and well done to all those involved. Now, fishing down on the lower south coast. It's been a little bit slow, I must admit. However, there's still loads of shad around, particularly in the evening, and Margate Pier being the spot, with a couple of other places shining as well. However, the star of the show has definitely been the Garrick. There's been loads of Garrick being caught from the entirety of the coastline, so really lucky to see that. There's been some thick-sized Garrick and also a couple of small juvies in between that have been released, so lovely to see there. Predominantly on bait, but a few also on lure. Now, there's been a couple of hammerhead sharks and some grey, so really nice to see those popping up, especially for the non-ed fishermen. And we've also had some bomber-size cob. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the sort of prelude that's heading into Cobtober, which is literally on our doorstep, but the sizes that have been caught have been absolutely monsters, Vinesh. I'm talking absolute thick cobs, so really lucky to see that happening. Now, don't know what Cobtober is going to hold for us, but it's just here, Vinesh, so I'm hoping that it's going to be an exciting one. We've also had a couple of lacquer fish being caught off the ski boats down south, a couple of game fish and some good bottoms around. Nothing really exciting or to sort of write home about at this stage. However, that is just exactly how it's been the last few days. The weather has sort of slowly started warming up. The sea is settling. It is looking really good at the moment. And the guys are getting loads of shad, particularly at nighttime and early mornings. Sea Park and Margate Pier being the two main culprits there. There's also been a few bream around and a couple of brushes, so nice to see there's sort of a mixed bag. However, in terms of the sardines, definitely a no sight, no see, no hear, no nothing at this stage. We don't know where the sards are. We don't know if we're going to get more of a sardine run. We're all just literally crossing our fingers and toes at this stage, Vinesh. Otherwise, guys, have an awesome weekend ahead. Stay safe, tight lines, and see you on the next one.
Ah, yes, Adam, that's exactly what I'm talking about to round off the show in absolutely legendary style. Guys, after a report like that, how can we not go fishing this weekend? It is looking absolutely epic throughout the entire coastline. I mean, even rounding off with Adam's one, where we are talking about the big Garrick, big cob, big shad. It is not Cobtober, it is Cobtober in August. What should we call that? I mean, oh, God, I have no idea. I don't care. I just want to get out there and get fishing. I'm hoping you are going to be doing the same. I'm hoping that big shad has your name on it. Bring it in. Wait in at the Kingfisher. We want to hear all about it. All right. So even if that's not the case, just get out there. Get some Garrick. Get some cob. Get some action. Get some fishing action. This is the East Coast. Guys, once again, thank you so much for all your congratulations on our award. It truly means the world to us. We do this for you. We do it weekly because we love it and because we love getting you into the strike zone so you can feel what we feel. All right. So with that being said, until the next one.
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Green. Find more episodes at ecr.co.za under podcasts or your favorite podcast app. Let's fish for the future.